Well, the thing about Huss is he has a Genji in his back pocket. The big difference here is, and I think Blank know this as well, so it's fine for me to say, but Huss's Genji is not going to be as good as CKM's Genji. That's just been a part of, you know, the hero pool for Blank so far. So seeing Huss in the Genji, yes, he's going to play it, but is it going to be successful? It's probably going to be quite good, but certainly it's not CKM's Genji.
We do see IED up. I think this is a bit of a read here, actually, onto the Widowmaker. I think looking to sort of contest out of Pudo's own Widowmaker here. It's going to be an exciting one. Haven't had a chance to see, I think the
the job.
Straight onto him, barely getting away, as low as 13 health there, but it does leave Loco a little high and dry. They do trade one back. Blank, the tag's really getting hard pressured here, and Huss only just able to get a bit of work done on the backside. IED up as well. The DPSs have kind of kept it together for the team, but Mega should be able to reset here, and they are actually getting a tick as well.
That's a huge deal. Even if Mega loses push now, they'd be quite happy to just take that one tick and walk away. But they're not walking away just yet. If they can get some extra kills, as they have done at Overwatch, now they finally get to secure Eat You Up, who was so elusive last time.
Yeah, who hadn't quite closed out on Saiyajin God. I mean, Huss was still alive for a lot of that, but wasn't actually getting onto the point to contest the few members that were there, and Mega got a tick for free while IED Up was still kind of fishing for a headshot on the members that were on the point, and Blank had an opportunity to kind of close that one out. I think they were just assuming that Mega were going to pull back, but Mega found themselves not dying and went, oh, might as well stay in it.
Well, the reason they stay in is because, again, they understand how close their respawns are. They understand those one-to-one trades are better for them, and all things considered, they only needed 1 minute to cap on A. It wasn't in one attempt, but 1 minute is very quick nonetheless. They still get the snowball here.
Just trying to sort of pile up the stairs here, and Blank just kind of going in for the wrap around, but there's the pulse bomb onto
Snowball's
Kuro.
rolling.
Yeah, Snowball is indeed rolling. This is what Mega had been doing to such great effect against One Shine. Not going to fall prey to their own tricks here. Self-destruct from Uwu does buy a bit of time, bit of space, yeah, but it doesn't buy 4 whole kills, unfortunately, in Pudo. Set up now on this high ground while Enzo and kind of plays the low ground game. Should be able to snowball this into a third here as soon as this ultimate runs out from time. But actually, Nanoblade may be able to turn something around here. Indeed it has. It's got just enough members. That was so clutch out of Blank.
And this time around, Mega don't walk away with that one tick. And again, they would have been happy to walk away with that one tick, but Blank were able to hold on to it. The transcend is coming out into play at the right time as well. The self-destruct buying time, all of this time being bought to make sure Huss can get a blade out, to make sure the Nano can be comboed as well for extra insurance. And the blade, it only got 1 kill, but it allowed the rest of Blank to pick up the extra kills to allow them to secure that defense.
Really drained Blank dry though, and that's the one thing that goes in favor of Mega here. They don't have a lot, but they do have something. They do have things that Blank don't have, and if they can get an opening pick, if they can kind of bust out here, then they should be able to get themselves on the point. Into Donado, not connecting on the pulse bomb, and Rocket is the casualty to sort of open out the fight, and unfortunately Mega, they're just going to have to back away from this one, lick their wounds from a moment, especially with Enzo and Apudo getting pressured and getting so low.
Attackers can't afford to lose members early, but at the same time, they can maybe make something out of this Trill kill as well. If Mega can get back into the fight, but they understand it's just not going to be the case. This one, though, they got to use this one.
They absolutely have to. Trill has only just rejoined the fray as well, so Blank aren't in an ideal position. They know it. They capitalize. They get right on top of Huwu. Transcendence does at least keep the pilot form alive. They have to go ahead and pop a boost onto Trill, and it does actually pay off. It's, you know, this time it's Trill's kills. Love that Quentin Tarantino film. Has to pop the Primal Rage, actually, because of the Pulse Bomb mistake. And Mega, they've kind of chosen to stay in this one. Naputo has that tactical visor out, and they do get Trill with it.
Tick.
They have got a tick, and Saiyajin God is still going to self-destruct the Berserk mech. Huss going in deep, but too deep, getting pressured out. Only got the mech before going down. They do at least force Mega back, but now Mega just going to go ahead and try and push back on once again anyway.
And they do lose members though, so Mega got to be wary of that. They have to get a lot more kills now. 1-for-1 kills this time favor Blank. Instead, 1 tick has been good, so they do back away at least with that. And they got to be, you know, like, as the thing about Mega is they can work to these 1 ticks. They have enough time. Still just under 4 minutes here. Get another tick in the next minute. Get the final tick in the last one.
Very quick commit out of Mega, and I do like it. And by the way, Huss swapped onto Doomfist and back onto Genji. He was still in the base as Mega were piling in. AD Up does at least deal with some members on the side, helps sort of get a few back for them, but that is the second tick now going the way of Mega. Respawns from Blank. They're going to have to buy a lot of time. Good Bio-Nade, but no one's on the point. They even had some members who were up. That is super rough for Blank, but very well executed from Mega. So decisive.
And you could feel the pressure of Mega's attacks as well. The fact that Blank had to commit so many ultimates every single defense, the reason they clutched out many times is the fact that they had double support ultimates. Tung with the Transcendence in their very first defense, then Kura coming out with the Nano onto Huss. Then again, later on, you had Tung coming out with another Transcendence, and then Kura coming out with the Nano onto Trill this time around. When they've had double support ultimates, they've managed to hold on to the defense. But even in those cases, Mega pull back just a little bit. Maybe they lose one member, maybe two. They come in so quickly. They don't waste any time. There's not this long setup period as well. They just dive straight back onto you and they get that cap.
And I think Blank were expecting it to come a little bit slower. Like I said, we actually saw Huss swap onto Doomfist. Obviously, they changed their mind, swapped back onto Genji. He wasn't actually in position when that attack happened because of that. And that's not necessarily his fault. That was Blank, you know, deciding maybe they were going to want to do something compositionally, but just not anticipating Mega to attack that quickly. So, I mean, Mega certainly, you know, they weren't planning around there. They weren't like, oh, Huss isn't there, let's go now. They were going to go for that attack anyway, but, you know, Blank kind of didn't do themselves any favors. You've really just got to credit Mega's execution there to make that work. Yeah, Pudo putting in the time, putting in the press-ups.
But it's showing, right, because Pudo barely died on that attack. He managed to stay alive for so long in that final engagement as well. You saw the number of kills that he got, and one of the biggest problems for Mega to deal with has been Eat Up so far, who's been landing pulse bombs. He's been getting pick kills, pressuring the back line. When Pudo finally caught him out, that's when they got the full cap.
Yeah, and I mean, that was
so more
so
push-ups.
massive. Yeah, even more push-ups. He's got that soldier remote where he just drops and gives 20.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And what if it was just like, sit down and hand them a $20 bill?
Yeah, drop and give me 20.
Drop and give me 20, sure.
Like we're going to be looking for... By the way, look at Blank's, rather Mega's positioning so far back. They're expecting a hard dive, hard engage from Blank.
Now Blank just kind of hanging around in the room, sort of getting up on the rotation here, but they have to kind of watch their back line. Great dive from Mega, totally splits Blank in half. They trade 1 for 1 though, hasn't quite been the wash that they were after. Saijin God has to kind of come to assist in the 1v1 on the point between the two traces, and this means Blank have an opportunity now to kind of regroup a little bit, get the pressure on the point. Oh, I don't know how you put a mech to sleep, but they managed. Now Blank, like I said, kind of regrouped. Huss is going to be able to rejoin this one as well. A Trill can just stay alive. Fubu as well, that needs to keep his mech, and no such luck. Gets demeched as Eat You Up gets picked. And after kind of hanging around on the point for quite a while, not really getting a bunch of kills, Blank suddenly at the last second to get a couple back, but they've already really been rebuffed here. They do actually have to reset.
And the tanks from Mega did such a great job, right? Loco and Sage and God, after they took care of Huwu, who by the way has been a bit of a problem in Umbani, this time around they stayed alive, they collected the rest of the kills while both Rocket and Yut died, waiting for their respawn supports to rejoin them. Mega, for the kind of nice interception dive that they made there, were mostly out of position. They were underneath Blank, and that's not where you want to be if you're playing a soldier. You want to be far away from Blank, you want clear open sight lines.
Same kind of setup again here from Blank for the time being. So we'll have to see Mega once again commit. This time they get the Primal Rage as well, so they should have an even easier time separating Blank, but ooh, very quick movement out of Blank. No casualties this time around, much better. Now they commit the dive onto the point. Again, not losing anyone in the rotation. Did it to pop a Transcendence to make that happen? No. Now on the point as they are, Mega kind of pile in. Who has to commit a self-destructive? Pudo, though, wants to throw this Tactical Visor in on the side. Huss, though, looking to pick up a few with the Dragon Blade, looking to get Rocket as well. And it doesn't matter that Pudo had a Tactical Visor, did not get a chance to use it. And Mega getting forced off that.
But it was a lot of attempts from Blank though, right? And Pudo was kind of put in an awkward position and at a place where it's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Used a Tactical Visor, but a lot of members had already gone down. He could have gone for the hero play, but probably the more disciplined approach is to save the Tactical Visor for B. Mega understand they bought themselves enough time onto A. Now the real defense begins. They can look for a full hold here because Blank have so much less time than Mega had.
And yeah, like you said, very disciplined play out of Mega. As strong as that fight was in favor of Blank, that's a very great over the buy grenade plus the closeout straight down onto Kura. Ooh, not quite getting the catch of the pulse bomb, and that's really all they had to use here. So Mega that discipline, you know, being paid off even more so because they've actually preserved the tactical visor once again.
But you're seeing the problem here from Blank now is kind of a similar problem that One Shine had against Mega. Blank are just not getting themselves ahead economy-wise. They're not getting more ultimates than Mega. When they finally do have more ultimates than Mega, you look at what happened on A. Blank had to pull all the triggers. They had to use every single ultimate, or nearly every single ultimate. Mega can look at that and say, okay, we'll give you a point for that. We'll save our tactical visor.
Yeah.
You cannot snowball. If you do that on A, Blank do not get a snowball. That's why they get punished so hard on this attack.
And that's the thing, Mega have that as an option. Like, as much as you go, oh, you don't want to give up the point, like, you can. And, you know, if doing so profits you greatly later on down the line, you may as well. Mega.
Long-term investors.
Exactly. They only need to hold out here on B. Very
sick
stick on tongue. And that's just going to have to be Blank in full retreat. NZNR looks to try and get a bit of a rundown on some other members. Didn't quite find it, but doesn't matter. One-man pulse bomb stops the fight before it starts.
And this is when you get to start collecting the dividends, right? Because for the rest of Mega, they're coming into other ultimates. Both the supports coming up online soon. Both the tanks coming up online soon. And for Blank, back in the same issue they were facing earlier on. They do not ever get ahead of Mega economy-wise. They just can't get more ultimates. And if Mega sit on more ultimates than Blank, when Blank finally charge up theirs, Mega still win.
They've just got all those tools available. Blank are coming in on some of their own, but it's still uphill. Like you said, they're never really getting that macro advantage. Diving right in onto the back line, but counter dive out of Mega. And now it doesn't even need to use the tactical visors. The nano boost is enough damage, and they got the Transcendence out of Tongue as well. Has yet to be responded with one out of Yacht. The pressure just hasn't been there. Husk not quite able to get enough done with that Dragon Blade, unfortunately. Even going down to the rockets from Saiyajin God, and man, Blank just getting nothing for all of that.
And you look at the position where Huss died. He died near the spawn of Mega's defense there. Look at the rest of Blank. They were stuck indoors, further away. Loco locked them in. Maybe you want to blade here, Huss. Maybe you want to dive right in. But guess what? Loco has prevented every other player on your team from assisting you. That means you're not going to get any kills with the blade. That means it's time to play Soldier.
Unfortunately so, and Pudo is kind of ahead in that old economy. Oh, not anymore. That is a big opening for Blank. They need to commit really hard. They are, but they lose past. They lose that ability to set up, and the great bio grenade that came out of Rocket onto his own tanks really stopped Blank from pushing through that one. Yeah, NZNR pays it back double. And Blank, having committed those few ultimates that they did in this fight, find themselves rebuffed. Mega are just winning these fights so cheaply.
At the same time, though, Yut did manage to get a Transcendence out, so I think you've got to consider the payoff. The 50-50 here, the coin flip is either Apudo was going to use the tactical visor or Yut was going to use the Transcendence, because Apudo died with the visor. They didn't have the damage to finish the fight early, but they had the defensive options to make sure they stole the fight out. And now Mega, they're still not behind. They're at minimum, Mega is always equal to the economy of Blank. And this is, again, the issue. Blank need to get ahead. They need economically to be ahead. And that's not ever happening. It's not happening on this attack at all.
Again, just having to sort of pile in, try and get Huss set up. They are recognizing that Apudo and NZNR are both on the side. Oh, they got Apudo. The sort of two-man hit squad, the long gun, short gun of Blank, able to do a little bit more work in the opener. Now Blank committing hard with the sound barrier. Edu up is low. He's down to Loco. Rocket's got a nano boost that he can commit, and D throws it out now. Self-destruct from Saiyajin God creates enough space for him to start picking off these members of Blank, who did commit some ultimates there as well. So once again, not quite going to be ahead for this next fight.
The dangerous thing is, though, that Mega are playing with fire here. They are taking a lot of risk, and the risk specifically they're taking here is they keep wanting to put Apudo in that right side flank so he can get behind while Blank dive. The problem is Blank are reading it. Eat-You-Ups found him now twice, killed him now twice. Apudo can't afford to do that one more time. Mega can't afford to lose Apudo early one more time. That's going to potentially cost them.
That being said, Blank can't afford to lose another fight one more time. They kind of have to make it work on this one. I mean, Apudo on that right side or no, they've got to make this one work. They go ahead and commit their own tactical visor now out of Huss. Apudo trying to answer with his own. He does get the work done. Edu-Up did at least get one back. Transcendence out of Tongue. Huss in trouble, but he's able to stay alive up on this high ground. Saiyajin God, he's going to get demeked here, but he is going to be able to throw out the self-destruct. Might just be able to remech as well. Indeed, he will. No one quite closed out on him. So little health remaining for a moment there, and Blank kind of stuck down in this corner. Have to wheel back around. Luckily, haven't lost any members. They are relatively high in strength, but They're low in health bars. They've killed Loco, but Huss gets traded back. Trill and Hulu are low. The supports are working overtime, but they are starting to make some headway now. The tanks out of the picture for the moment. It's just Loco now trying to come back into the fight, but Trill with the Primal Rage trying to make space. Ends in an R though. Nano boosted up as he is. It's got so much damage down. Trill's dead, Tongue's dead. They get washed back off the point as Mega flood back in. And Blank are not going to close out the series quite just yet.
Mega strike back, and they strike back strong as well. This feels like the second act right now, and Blank have finally dropped their first map of Pacific Contenders Pacific this season as well. This is now the nano boost onto NZ and RS.
Right at the end.
This is kind of like, these are the kind of clutch plays that come out for Mega when they really needed to. And they've had a lot of scenarios now where Apuda gets taken down early, even when Apuda wasn't going for a flank. Kind of got taken down reasonably earlier as well, and he didn't quite have the impact. But Ensenada staying alive, the rest of Mega staying alive, it was too much for Blank.
You've got to consider Blank were in a disadvantageous position for really the entirety of that final fight. It was never looking quite good for them, even when they were starting to get kills in, and that's the thing. The truth is, on none of their offenses did Blank really have that kind of total superiority. They never had it in terms of the ultimates in the macro game coming into the top of fights. They never had it partway through fights by just kind of fragging out and having a numbers advantage. They never got ahead.
Well, the one thing they had was the 2 fights where they killed Apuda early, right? But they couldn't translate that into real advantage. And the problem is, because of the remaining ultimates for Mega, because Mega had banked up and they always had something in the back pocket, if Apuda goes down, you have sort of, you know, plan Bs in there, you got plan Cs in there, wait for Apuda to respawn, just stall out long enough for that to happen, and then the cleanup happens once Apuda is back into action. So Blank actually had at least that advantage. They had a pretty good player advantage. I think killing Apuda early and not losing anybody is about as good as you could hope for. But even then, that says a lot, right? Even if that's not enough, what is enough? Like, they need to walk in with just all the kills. If
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that 6 versus 5, like that's what you need to convert into that big superiority. You need to be able to convert that into like getting 2 more kills or something, and, you know, coming into a 6 versus 3 situation, staggering out the defenders such that as they're respawning, they don't ever have the numbers to dislodge you. You need to not get traded out. You need to just get kills without losing your own members. None of those things happen for Blank. They happen for Mega, barely, but more than it happened for Blank, and it was enough for Mega to win the map. I mean, that's what you've really got to consider here. And now as we move on to Escort, I mean, there is absolutely the opportunity for the same thing to happen again. By the way, resubstitution now, CKM back in over Huss.
And I do want to highlight, I think probably the best play out of Mega defensively on Hanamura was when Huss bladed in. He wanted to dive in deep. Of course, you want to be able to dive in deep with a blade. He wants to collect those kills, and this is usually when you see the tanks follow up. The supports are there healing as well, except Loco locked them in with the Primal Rage inside that small side room and the entrance of point B. And that was such a huge play from Mega as well, just understanding win conditions, how to shut Blank down. But we're into map 4 now. Junkertown is the pick, and for the first time, Blank picking a map.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable situation, but they go straight to Australia. Right.
Retreat back to Australia.
Yep. Defend the homeland. I think there was a very small part of Australia that did actually get invaded in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have actually fought on home soil.
I'd love to say that.
Yes. Like, I mean, it happened. See, they were involved in some other sort of campaigns, like, nearby, but there was actually some incursions. You know, they reckon that there were Nazi submarines that were around Auckland Harbour, but we're not quite sure.
I guess we'll never be sure.
They're not like still there. Like, this is during World War II.
I gotta check after this.
This is like in the 40s. Like, if they were there now, I have a feeling we'd know. Like, if we still weren't sure, then like we're doing something wrong at that point. But they're like for all the defenses and everything that got put in, like a couple still kind of shot it. Like, we've got a whole bunch of like really big gun emplacements all around the country to like defend our natural harbors and things like that. most of them didn't even get test fired until like 2 years after the war. So it's like, we really, like if we had been invaded, wouldn't have gone.
I'll tell you what, now they get to be antiques, now they get to be tourist destinations.
Exactly.
You know, it works out.
Look at our guns that we never used. Aren't they nice? That is actually quite cool. You can like go through the bunkers and everything. It's like, it's really great that we never had to use these. There's nothing good here. Don't invade New Zealand. There's nothing worthwhile. It's just a bunch of, it's just us and some sheep, really. That's it. It's not worth your time. And that's the thing. I feel very safe in this country. Like, we're not even on the risk board. You know, Australia is. Taking over Australia is like a strategy in risk. It's a newbie strategy, but that's beside the point. People go for that all the time. New Zealand, no, we're fine. Not a problem. We are all peaches and gravy.
Well,
there's actually a very detailed document on what our special forces would do if we got invaded, and like how they would play their guerrilla campaign. That
is a one-page document.
They reckon it's impossible for any occupying force to fully control New Zealand. I mean, there's no one who's going to try and prove them wrong, mind you, but like that's what they reckon. Well, back to Junkertown. That's enough about domestic defense for now.
Domestic defense for Blank here. They're not even defending first. First, they got to attack.
Yeah, they've actually got to attack. That's really awkward. They've actually got to like dislodge the enemy from home soil.
So the other thing is, we have actually seen Mega play Junkertown this evening. Again, in their previous match against One Shine, which was the finishing of their previous week's match, and they didn't win that, right? There was some issues there that sort of came into effect, but some of those issues came into the fact that, first of all, One Shine had some great clutch moments, and we know Blank have had a lot of those moments themselves, but also for Mega, Apudo wasn't fired, and he kind of wasn't. He's kind of this hot and cold Widowmaker play right now.
And, I mean, we know how good Blank can be here on Junkertown as well. This is, a lot of the time, quite a good map for them. Running a bit of an interesting team comp, not going full pirate ship. Not the whole yo-ho-ho.
They're running the Hanzo variant, right? Because the Hanzo variant is the one that's going to dismantle the Orisa Hog defense from Mega, provided CKM can get this Dragon Strike up in time, and he's not going to get it in time.
Yeah,
Kudos gets that mid-air headshot so clean.
Oh, and Saiyajin God kills Huwu. So Kura maybe would have wanted to res CKM so that they could start charging up that Dragon Strike, but I mean, you can't really choose either of those two. You actually, at that point, have to go for a full reset. So great hits by Mega.
And looking at the ultimate charge as well, seeing Apudo overtake Eat You Up, well, they're actually fighting neck and neck for who's going to get these early infra sites in there. I mean, both Widowmakers are definitely impactful right now.
Eat You Up, ooh, threads the needle onto Apudo. Now looking to get a few more on the backside. Was looking for Yut, didn't quite find him, but
lands the hardest shot possible.
Yeah, and then misses all the. Right. That's the Eat You Up way.
It's classic. It happens to the best of us.
I mean, does it? Doesn't happen to me. I just miss all the shots. Oh, ends it enough.
Well, you're not the best of us.
Exactly. CKM going down there to ends it enough once again to kind of lose the charge on that Dragon Strike. Riptire out. Ooh, catches Huwu. It's only the one, but that could well be enough to force Blank to just kind of back up and reconsider. In fact, Shrill going down and even Eat You Up getting shot out by his counterpart. Definitely going to have to reset.
Well, it's a big one, right? Losing one of the tanks is just going to open up that front line. Trill can only hold on so long by himself. Unfortunately goes down. And the other thing is for Blank running these kind of tanks, and for both sides realistically, you can't really retreat. Trill can't exactly run backwards. He will get taken down. Apudo wins against the duel, against Eat You Up, and now this time has an infra site ready as well.
Yeah, and Eat You Up had sort of used his one prior, so I do just have that small advantage.
Dragon Strike ready.
Yeah, starting to creep around the corner. They're going to have to commit it there. It goes straight out. They just kind of scatter. Catches Yut, actually, and there is a moment here to capitalize. The res is in on Yut, but Loco is separated out. They do indeed capitalize. Got Loco and able to re-engage on Yut. This is what Blank have been gearing up for. Did cost them quite a bit to finally get it underway, but they pull it off when the time came.
And actually getting a kill with the Dragon Strike is kind of, getting Apudo the last second as well. But getting that kill onto Yut was a bit of a bonus because usually the Dragon Strike doesn't manage to get a kill. What it does let you do is open up that defense, make them back off, make them push to the side even to allow you to get the cart through, and that's exactly what Blank did. And now the next defense from Mega as well. CKM would be definitely very smart to hold on to this Hanzo because the Dragon Strike again would be very effective.
Might as well, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Only thing they do have to contend with is the fact that NZNR is about to be coming back up on a Riptire. Both teams just kind of playing air hockey a bit with these halt hook combos, each trying to go for a catch. Ooh, Apudo gets the shot on tongue.
A little bit difficult to res as well. You can sort of see now where's the hook coming out.
Oh,
White.
And then exactly which hole is their fire in. CKM is already dead. NZNR goes the long way around. Gets Kura. Blank were already resetting at that point though. It does waste a little bit more of their time. Oh, late kill onto Huwu though.
And late kill, but this is the kind of thing, right? This Riptire allows the backline to be opened up. This is a bit of a fat finger coming out from Saiyan God. I'm sure he knows that as well. And Blank get a little bit of reprise, right? They lose 3 members after, or 2 members at least after that Riptire. Late Jets is going to force more time out of them. But now there's at least 1 less ultimate on the table for Mega. And for side available, no Riptire to contend with. Still a precarious place for Blank to be in.
Do have that ultimate out. There's the Dragon Strike right onto them. They have to sort of shuffle back into the corner, but no one dead from it. There's no capitalization from it either. Blank still kind of, headshot onto 80 up as well. Blank not making any headway here.
Well, the problem is they weren't meant to get a kill from the Dragon Strike. Like I mentioned, you don't normally get a kill, but what you are meant to do is push into it, push with the double dragons flying out there, make that your entry point. And Blank, they're just stuck. They couldn't move, they couldn't push with the Dragon Strike.
Oh, and CKM going down. Now NZNR with the spam damage. They're just going to start charging up that Riptire again. Oh, man. Apudo now, I mean, EDUP got that 1 at the start, but I don't think he's actually killed Apudo since then.
And the bigger issue is, like, Apudo is just reading EDUP's positioning as well. He didn't even have Infrasight. He does now, but he didn't before. And he just knew where EDUP was coming. He had that scoped in already, finds the headshot instantly, knew EDUP was going to peek. And now a full compositional change from Blank. And the problem is they're playing dive into Orisa Hog. Orisa Hog Junkrat is built to beat dive.
Yeah, all that displacement. There's going to be that Riptire coming up as well. NZNR, you can just sort of bide his time for a moment here. Throw it out, looking for just maximum time wastage for Blank. Trying to get Riot in onto the back line. Oh, didn't quite want to commit it onto only Trill, but took a bit too long and ended up committing it onto nobody. Blank now having window. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Jiminy Christmas. How do you do that?
I'll call that one your 1 kill. That can basically be the 1 kill from Riptire as we kind of expected. Blank Esports going to just wait a little bit. You can see Mega just getting up ahead now. Apudo going to have great sight lines. Blank can't even walk into the second point. They're still stuck on A.
And there's like 35 seconds to go. It's not like they're coming up into any ultimates here. They got some really tough things to get past here. Transcendence just to try and get them onto point. CKM is not going to fall prey to that same trick. They have at least got themselves an opening now. Trill is low, getting a little bit of pressure, but they've got NZNR. The dive has finally worked for them. It has started to pay off. It has opened the way for them. EDUP able to run down Apudo, finally paying 1 back.
But the card is only just starting to move, right? It will go into overtime, so this period becomes very important for both teams. For Blank, they can cap here if they're very good with how they play, but at the same time, look at the ultimates. Mega are so ready. All they got to do is walk out onto the cart, Infrasight ready as well. They know where everyone is. Let it rain.
Blank have got little more to go on than a dream here. There's the halt hook onto Huwu. It's going to be a transcendent straight in out of Yut. Blank have kind of weathered it for now, but the whole hog is just pushing them back. The cart, they've got to stay on it. Current EDUP are dead. It's going to make it harder. Oh, shot onto CKM just as the deflect was ending. And that is as far as Blank will go today on their offense. The gong rings out. And they have one heck of a defense ahead of them now if they want to close this series.
And any doubts about Mega's ability to play Junkertown, like let's just forget about One Shine versus Mega on Junkertown entirely. This is Mega on Junkertown. That was a ridiculous defense, and you seeing from Blank as well the kind of pressure that they're under when they are attacking and they can't even get from A onto B. They've kept A and they just stuck behind those gates. I mean, this is where Mega just put the walls up and say, keep out.
Nope. Or as they say in Junkertown, keep out. I wanted to use different vernacular there to make it more authentic. But alas, I'm not allowed. You Australians are so crude with your language.
And it's also a time where you're now seeing Apudo out-snipe, eat you up for the most part. Like, again, you have this kind of Widow versus Widow thing where the first person that has to be forced to change off of Widow because unfortunately, they're losing those jewels. I mean, that's what we saw in this case, and Ewop had to go into the Tracer. Notably, Blank were going to full dive anyway, but they've reset their full composition. That's when you know a team's really far behind, when they have to full reset a composition, not at a time that they want to, but at a time when they have to. That's not giving themselves, unfortunately, enough space to work with right at the end there to get the final push on through. The fact that the cart didn't even make any real movement, even winning that one fight, Mega just had to walk out and use their ultimates.
If you want to kind of look at you know, what little bit of history there is, as much as this is very much not Mega versus One Shine, one of the things that was going wrong for Mega on their defense was, you know, every opportunity they had to win a fight and close it out, they kind of let slip through their fingers. So this time, not so. They're already looking better. They're already in a better shape. And on their offense, they got stopped up quite a while on point A. So again, if they are truly in better shape, we've got to kind of see that get changed around as well.
We have seen teams get that full hold onto A as well, so it's not all over just yet for Blank. In fact, they can definitely get a very good defense here. CKM already onto the 20, nearly 30. I was about to say 20. As I said 20, he got 30%.
By the time you said it, now that you've finally kind of finished that, he's not actually at 40% yet.
But it would have been great.
That would have been really great. Oh, the 60! Oh, what just happened there? That's all right. He landed a mine or something, but see Apudo and EU up just sort of in this duel once again, trying to dislodge one another. But now as they move into the kill box, this is where Blank have got to make something happen if they are going to make this defense work for them. They don't quite have the Riptide just yet.
And the problem is Blank, they give themselves a kill, so no problems just yet. Two. This is when the defense starts to really get into action. They didn't even have to use the Riptide, I was going to say. The problem is they don't quite have the Riptide just yet, and they
where the tire is 2 pizzas, and as he lets it off, he says, "Rest in pepperonis." I'm sorry.
That ruins the...
Yep. Oh, what a hold hook. The full-on bump up. I think they actually got a concussion mine in there as well, amazingly. But with Loco dead, this is the extra time the Blank need to have the tire up. Now set up around this kill box, they are looking to just whittle down Mega through these next few fights.
By the way, Mega don't have the Hanzo to sort of break through this defense with the Dragon Strike. They have to brute force themselves with the members that they have, with the abilities that they have. It's going to be Internet pulling out his Riptire first. If this gets a lot of kills.
He's very polite about it. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine. Oh, gets the only one that he needs.
That is massive.
And Saiyajin God took down his counterpart as well. They do instantly res CKM, who commits his own tire out. Pays it straight back. And this is still momentum for Mega. They are at least underway, but Blank have, generally speaking, regrouped here. Now this is Mega a little bit kind of staggered out here. The shield just barely keeping Rocket safe there. It's going to be able to be a re-entry from Blank with those defensive ultimates. So, I mean, Mega, they haven't quite got it through just yet.
Internet's going to be so careful. He's just lost so much HP.
Tongue is down, though, and I eat you up. He's doing a decent amount of work, but these members of Blank are quite low. What? What? With just one concussion mine as well? That is bonkers.
And that's what happens when a supercharger comes down, boosting you up. The damage coming into play, you can expect Loco to have used Halt as well. When the combo comes in, you can expect the damage to come out. And eat up with all the shots that he was hitting before, wasn't able to hit enough shots this time around. Apudo coming back into play. How crucial was it Engineer surviving in the last final seconds?
I like the setup here from Mega as well, taking this high ground while they can. They want to make this hard for Blank. They want to make Blank have to attack them before they can even be in their own defensive position. Ooh, Riptire does get red. Now CKM looking to answer with his own. He's got a much longer distance to travel. Going to wrap all the way around the backside. Catches Yut on the payload, actually. They do have a numerical advantage that they need to convert here. It's hard.
Ooh. While at the same time, the card continues moving, right? So even if Mega loses, they can back off knowing the card is in a good position for them. They have time to work with. Just got to get the next wave of ultimates. One of the bigger issues here is for Mega the fact that Internet's Riptires have not been as good as CKM's. At the same time, though, he did get that triple kill with the 1 concussion mine, but how often can you get that?
Oh, 80 up has found his mojo again.
Getting his payback.
Rez does come in for a Pudo, and 80 up does take a grenade. Ooh.
Be careful not to get hooked.
Very careful.
Very dangerous.
Looking for a Pudo as well, looking for the eye-line. Nearly has that. Ooh, isn't it up?
Line of sight.
Yeah, barely breaking line of sight for that. 80 up with the Emerald Sight coming up. Finds a Pudo before that comes up anyway, but this is Mega kind of opening the door a little bit. Whole hog had to come out of Huwu there.
Oh!
They do get a nice catch onto Yard. Ends up committing in this tire.
It's been red.
Yeah, it has been red. There's not a lot he can get for it. Gets shot as well. That's the one that IDOP really needed to connect. And now with the ultimate out, Mega are finding themselves losing a lot of time here, kind of staggering this a little.
But so many of these defenses go back to Mega's defense. This was Mega in the exact same space where it was a Pudo hitting the shot specifically onto IEU up. And also, again, it's the other members of Mega getting the kills as well. Now, Mega forced to swap compositions. This is like exactly what happened to Blank on their own attack. And it's CKM hitting all the shots, Eat Up hitting all the shots, and Mega just being falling on the wayside.
Once again, though, like it was on Blank's attack, there may be just enough time here for Mega to get a couple of ultimates up. And they only need to get a little bit of distance on that cart. One good fight does it here for them, and that's all they really need. Blank, ooh, gets two with the rip tire. No such luck for this push out of Mega.
They also forced a Transcendence out of Tongue, so actually it's not a bad run.
It's pretty good,
ultimates that you got out of Blank. The extra one from Tongue is actually a massive, massive deal. The stagger onto Saijin God is probably going to be quite painful, especially now that we're under 1 minute, and Mega still waiting for their ultimates to come into play.
Yeah, this does kind of mean there's probably only really one good fight, maybe 1.5 fights total. Blank, all they really need is a couple of picks at the top of a fight. Gotta change that tune to really stop it from being Mega's win here. They are coming up on a whole hog soon as well. That's going to have to be the key tool that they convert off of.
It is absolutely crazy to think that both teams have exactly the same defense and then pretty much the exact same offense as well. But Mega still have time to change the tune of that. They have time to rewrite history.
Yeah, straight in with Yut's Transcendence. Here is that whole hog from Huwu, though. Opens it out. Trill is low. He does go down. And Huwu's not got enough. He's getting popped up into the air. Loco's low. He does go down, but Apudo is getting it all done. The res on the point. Kura alone does bring Huwu back, but he's not got anything to go off. Trill may try and dive onto this one, but he is too far away. And that is what happens when Apudo plays Genji. 2 for 2 now. We are going that full distance. We are going that full 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow, we're getting the full 5 series. This is absolutely nuts. And now you also get to see how that triple kill, or maybe it was even a quad coming out of that concussion mine. No, it's just point blank, just straight in the face.
Walked it in. Absolutely walked it right in, and then converted onto Huwu immediately after with a grenade. I mean, that is just... Like I was just saying, there were so many members of Blank that were super low there, and they had to be kind of careful. They were really on a knife edge. Like, they had the members of Mega just separated enough that they could probably close them out one by one without losing any more members, without having those low health bars come back to bite them. But then NZNR found literally all of those low members at once.
Let's consider that for Mega. Like, some of the strengths there, some of the good things that they did, how they managed to get that win was... Look at the defense primarily. The fact that they held Blank for so long on that B point, again, it was so consistent and so dominant that at one point Blank could not even get into the B point. They were just stuck on that A point despite having capped. Because they had such a great B defense on their own attack, they managed to cap it through. And the reason that's significant is, consider that Blank's defense was also incredibly good. Blank's defense there, if the distance was a little bit further Blank, if Apudo and Mega were required to push it all the way into C, they would have failed. And that's that's the kind of difference at the end of the day. They set the standard with their own defense. Yeah,
man, like on the whole, that's twice now Mega have just been wholly deserving of it, right? And it's been kind of set in stone by their own defense. As much as they defended second on Hanamura, it was the way they played out the defense, the continual execution that ultimately stopped Blank from, even getting anything done on point B, unfortunately, for them. And you've got to say the same there. It was their defense that gave them such a quote-unquote easy offense. And I do actually want to kind of add a caveat to that. That's why I say quote-unquote, is it was actually quite difficult. And like you said, kind of mirrored Blank's own offense. Difference being they only have to reach that same distance. So if you do the exact same offense in that situation, you win the map. That's all it really took.
And the other difference is when you look at defensively, how did Mega come in to stop that B attack? When they lost B at the start, when they finally lost B and they had to fully reset, they walked in with something like 4 ultimates. They just had to, everyone just had to press Q. You walk in, you win the game. You stop the count where it is, but you look at the flip side. Blank's defense on B, they never had that kind of advantage. They never were allowed to be in a position where they were so far ahead, they were in an unlosable rather position. That's the difference between Blank and Mega right now. That was also the difference between them on Hanamura as well. Again, the economy, the macro play, the fact that Mega were always keeping themselves ahead ult economy-wise. Blank have been falling behind in that regard across 2 maps now.
Unfortunately so, and that is something that does kind of have to be readdressed here. We do actually get to go back to control though, which maybe kind of profits Blank a little bit here. But even then, I don't know how I feel about that because you have to consider that actually Nepal was really quite close. It came down to a 99-99 on Sanctum. You know, it was all tied up at that point. Blank did have the better win of the 2 of the sort of the previous maps to that, getting the full 100-0 shutout. Oasis is a bit of a different thing though. So again, I'm curious to see how both of these teams sort of choose to address it. And I don't know that I necessarily favor one or the other here. And
that's the exciting thing, right? Because this could go either way. Now, you started this going to the pre-game. You got to kind of consider Blank are maybe the favorites here. They're the #1 team, unbeaten record. Well, they've lost 2 maps in 1 series. They didn't lose a single map up until now. And now they could be potentially losing the entire match. I mean, this is certainly an interesting way to go down if Blank do go down here. But at the same time, Mega still are only kind of just barely winning. Go back to Junkertown. That nearly wasn't a win for Mega. So a lot of these could go either way by very small margins.
You know how it's got cold all of a sudden? I don't mean like right now. I mean like the last couple of days. It's like suddenly just got really cold.
Not for me.
Yeah, let's think. Like first of all, I'm thoroughly impressed that you're wearing only a t-shirt. But secondly, I've got to call back to this one. I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks right now. Just had to let everyone know that.
And now
it's just really comfortable. It's just really comfortable wearing the second pair of socks. I'm actually really glad
Take your word
it's nice
for
and
it.
cold, right? Because it's like, I can finally wear my wardrobe again, right? Like, I don't know why I do this every single year. I buy a whole bunch of clothes for winter. I even buy my extra fluffy woolen socks. And then for half the year, I just can't wear them. Just going to go ahead and put that sock back on there. My toes are getting a little chilly. My socks have elks on them, which is quite cool. But you wouldn't know, they're shrouded in mystery. It's quite a spooky sock, this one.
Yeah, he's spooking me out.
It's just great. It's a shadow. My feet are wreathed in shadow. I'm like, these are the kind of socks that Reaper would wear.
The Reaper or Reyes Reaper? See, now we got to make that distinction.
Well, that's the thing.
Now.
I think both, right? Because Reaper is a man of the shadows, but Reyes is a man of comfort. He wears a beanie. He likes staying warm, but you don't need to wear any warm clothes on Oasis. It is in the middle of a desert, and that is where we find ourselves now.
Teams getting into the action now. Very soon, rather.
On to City Center right now. CKM out on the Pharah, and yeah, interesting. We are going to see Apudo out onto the Sombra. We're going to have to see how well he can kind of shut down CKM, or indeed if anyone on this team can shut down CKM, because so far that rocket damage is going unanswered, and IU up doing an excellent job of cleaning up these low health members.
And this is kind of the strength of Blank Esports lineup, right? They get to put CKM back onto the Pharah. We've seen how good he is on Nambani. We've also seen how Mega kind of failed to address it, so Mega now coming in with a Apudo on the Sombra. It doesn't really get any easier. He has to get a hack onto either Kuro or CKM, and so far, Mega, they've already lost the count.
Doesn't quite connect the hack onto Huwu either, unfortunately. They're just trying to pressure the point as best as they can, but it's kind of hard. They don't really have anything great to dislodge CKM right now.
An opening pick as well. I believe the hack did go down on somebody.
Oh, good catch onto NZNR, and IU up just starts wreaking havoc with that. And now they're kind of tunneling a little bit on, trying to close out on CKM. Loco's like, come on, please let there be a car.
Finally finds one.
It's just like
sometimes
it's the opposite of what I get, right? When I'm trying to pull out, it's like it's been no traffic, and the moment I go to pull out of my house, boom, road's full. Not if you're Loco, though.
50% now for Blank coming into this. A couple ultimates coming online as well, but Mega have been banking on this EMP, and they get the hack.
Oh, that's the connect that they need, and the EMP. Insult to injury, but no follow-up. It's Trill who's getting pressured out here. He does go down, but Justice has arrived. CKM picking up 2 in response. Does go down to the self-destruct, but Blank definitely still have legs in this fight. It is not all over for Mega just yet. Sound barrier out of Rocket. Didn't catch Yard. He had gone down just prior to it. Now Blank, they still had the presence on the point. Even if this becomes a losing fight for them, they've pushed it up past 80%. Hubu going to be able to remech here. Actually, Loco not quite closing out on him with that Primal Rage. And Blank, they still haven't fully given up the point here anyway. Now just re-entering back into it. Mega are going to have to find another way in.
And this is part of the problem. Blanca fully respawned, now they're fully reinforced. Transcendence has come out of Mega, but responded straight away by Tongue. This is getting very bad for Mega, and they need a lot of picks.
That's the one they need to open it up. I eat you up down means they can't get that same follow-up on these Rockets they had previously. But Rez in now. DMAC on Hulu, they close him out. Mega are slowly eking out a numbers advantage. IEDU up though, he's going to trade one back. He's certainly not done. It's only the one tank though, and CKM and IEDU up can only do so much between them. Finally going to get closed out upon there. And Blank, given that that fight was not going well for quite a while, could have actually opted to reset a bit earlier, maybe not giving away so much ult charge, but c'est la vie.
At the same time, though, Blank were kind of finding an opportunity, seeing if there was an opportunity to get that win in there. And Mega have now a monstrous task ahead of them. They have to be able to hold for a full 99%. This EMP has to get so much mileage, has to charge everyone else's ultimates, and Mega got to get this rotation underway.
Oh, Apudo had to translocate away, and that's a window for Blank, a window that they look to capitalize on, but not quite getting the connection. Now Apudo with an EMP, they instantly back up. No kills going over the way of Mega. Trying to get aggressive, trying to get a run down here, but they need to not overextend. Apudo was in too deep. Defensive ultimate's going to have to start coming out now for Mega first. The sound barrier, they still have a Transcendence they're sitting on. Idiot does go wide on the pulse bomb, but the pressure is there. Blank just ducking in and out of this fight, applying pressure, then pulling back and apply. Oh, they lose you up though. Makes it hard to go back in.
That's the thing, it feels like a bit of a tug of war right now, and Mega are tugging just slightly harder, at least in this defensive section right now. Over 50%, the red came into play.
That's big. Saiyajin God does at least get up in the air to kill CKM. But they rezzed you up back into the fight anyway, and off the back of that, they immediately converted it into a numerical advantage. Mega not quite able to handle the full commit out of Blank, who had sort of been flirting with the point prior to that, just ducking in and out, and then the full commit came and just picks Mega to bits. Now the trickle on for the last remaining members. I don't even know if anyone can quite touch it. It is Entered and R kind of ducking around this one. I don't know if Mega can really reset though.
And Apudo once again, this is just really unfortunate from him now. It's going to be Blank trying to clean up any remaining members. Mega are going to try their darndest, but their darndest might not quite be enough. Members are still just trying to pile in on there. Meanwhile, look at Blank's ultimates. They're just farming them up.
And there's no real way to contest these members right now. Hulu could throw it a self-destruct, force people off the point, and they won't be able to keep the overtime going. Doesn't even need to do that because they got the kills, but no one was able to contest CKM. They still had a Sam barrier, they still had a Valkyrie, they had all these tools in the back pocket.
So 2 problems there for Mega. One was the fact that they could not deal with the fire, and by the way, these are connected. And the second one is that we didn't see value out of Apudo. He was getting shut down time and time again, even in that final. The last couple of fights, I think the last one, when Apudo died very, very early on, came back as a soldier, died straight away, came back as a soldier, died straight away again for the 3rd time in a row. Just spent so long in the respawn room, and it doesn't get any easier. If you couldn't deal with the fire before, you got to play Gardens now. This is match point. Blank could take it all away right now.
And Apudo, he knows it. He knows that the Farah could just kind of take them straight out of the picture here, so he's over onto the McCree.
Just one of the, I guess, biggest clutch heroes you could possibly pick right now. This is kind of do or die. If you're landing the shots into CKM, great, but if you're missing, well, it's going to be Blank stealing the shot.
It's got to pay dividends, though. That's the real thing with Apudo, and he knows he needs to knock it out, flanked by Edu up as well. Already it is Blank kind of set up on the point. It's Mega who have to aggress onto it. They need to get these shots connecting, nearly getting Kura, not quite getting the last few in, and Mega sort of have to touch the point, then back out. They get Tongue though. That's an opening. They need to convert off it. Still need to get rid of Kura. CKM has traded one back, and Edu up starting to get the run around the pit. They killed Trill though. before Apudo went down as well. Huwu trying to go in with the dive. Apudo still in this one. Doesn't quite get eat you up though. It is instead going to go down for his trouble. And Mega, all these low members. That's a little rough for Huwu though. He may just have to reset himself.
But what
He's going to be able to kill Loco.
But what isn't rough is that Blank managed to get the camp right while Mega were trying to find a way in. Blank were already in. Pharmacy got pushed out. CKM and Kura took a lot of damage. Ultimately, though, they managed to stay alive. Apudo clutch headshot into Trill to save his own life, but the rest of Mega, they had to start getting towards the point. They couldn't protect him. Apudo got separated by the rest of his team, and Mega could not secure that fight. So they need to work around Apudo. They need to pocket him.
Blank still in command and control of the point, looking to kind of repeat their success of City Centre just been, but there's the connect that they need. They get CKM, who was holding on to the rock barrage in good heaven. Would you look at the time at the dive? Great response from Huwu, super clutch. Forces out Apudo. It does look like he'll lose his mech for it though, so there is a big window now here for Mega. They need to try and survive here, Blank, for CKM to re-enter, but with tongue down, yeah, I think they're just gonna willingly let this one go from here on out. Not gonna commit any more ultimates over to it. Not quite as much progress as they would have liked though. Apudo finally pulling his weight.
And they're finding the win condition too, right? This is why you play the McCree, because you're looking for the headshots in CKM. You're looking for kills into Kura as well. When you can take down the Pharmacy as the McCree, that's how Mega are going to get into this game. And also the fact that he just did not die. Trill tried to jump in. Huwu tried to jump in. Eat-Up tried to jump in. It wasn't enough.
Oh man, but Eat-Up jumping in is enough to kill NZNR. Now Blank, they're just kind of in the upper hands here. They've got the rocket barrage and actually, Rez is coming in on the side of Mega, means they do have a numerical advantage. Blank need to find a window for that rocket barrage to come out, but yes, CKM's too low. Eat-Up is dead, has to commit it now. Does get Sage and God, but they kind of need to get a bit more, and they know that. They start committing other ultimates into the fight. They do convert these kills through, but Mega have made this an expensive affair for Blank, and it's still not really secure for Blank either. Mega can just re-enter, especially with that kill coming in on the Deadeye. Just rejoined the fight. CKM may just be able to get himself topped up. Apudo getting pressured out for a moment though. It's kind of a full reset now. Both teams back at strength, scrapping on the point again.
It's a full reset, but Mega retain control of the point. That means they get extra percentage points. Also, Apudo has not died for all the kills that Blank are getting. They are not getting Apudo. CKM goes down, and not even to Apudo. And now Eat-Up joins him as well. Mega continue collecting the percentage points. They continue now getting this lead on top of Blank. CKM forced off too much pressure, eating way too many headshots.
Man, that was really tight for a moment there. Both teams basically resetting, but unfortunately, Kura couldn't quite get back onto CKM. He was having to spend so much time keeping the tanks topped off because the tank's going to have to be taking all the damage from Apudo. Yeah, once again, great dive in, but they've got all the resources on Apudo. Yeah, Punish as NZNR comes around the backside, and Apudo still dishing damage out on the front. Oh!
Don't even try it. You cannot take this man down. Everyone wants to dive on top of him. Finally, but he...
Kura!
Yeah, it's Kura of all people.
But it doesn't matter because Loco and NZNR have got the rest of Blank on lockdown here, and off the back of that, Mega are going to even it back up. We're going the full distance here, man.
I would not have, you know, this is exactly what I was looking for. I would not have wanted this to end any other way but to go all the way. It's going to go to University, and the Apudo McCree, it had to be clutch, and oh boy, was it so clutch at the start. Had some questions. Okay, he got caught out. Okay, they managed to get him down, but later on, the amount of pressure he puts out, I mean, this is like earlier on when we saw Widowmakers, where players are just running at these Widowmakers, whether they're hitting shots or not. The pressure is so large that Trill dives in, instantly punished. CKM dives in, instantly punished.
Like you said, going to go the full distance here, going to go to University, and then after that, maybe even go to postgrad. Get a PhD, Dr. Huwu.
That's a reference. That's like a double reference. Right?
Yeah.
Let's get straight to the game, though.
So many layers deep. Yeah, let's actually address what's happening on the screen here, because once again, coming in with the Pharah, this is a bit of a different beast, though, here on University. Not as much room to play with. You still get that same verticality, but it's a different kettle of fish, and that means Apudo should have a lot more opportunities to hack out CKM. Good aerial shot onto Loco, but it's Blank who are losing the members here. CKM not quite able to get enough damage down. There's the hack coming through that they have been looking for, but may have come in a touch too late. not quite able to close out anything on CKM, and Apudo was already low by the time it connected, so Blank will win that opening skirmish.
And the thing about this Mega versus Blank sort of matchup here, and Apudo knows it as well, is they're winning the ground fights, but unfortunately they cannot deal with CKM. CKM with the fire has been such an X factor, so bring out the other X factor, and the other one looks like Apudo. Headshot soon to be coming in CKM. If he changes onto a Genji, that's when you know Blank are behind.
And it isn't to say that CKM's Genji is half bad, but if he changes onto it, it's going to have to happen quickly. Cap's gone the way of Mega. Blank too slow to get him, and Trill's dead as well. This is disastrous. They need to find a way to get back in this fight, or just kind of concede it straight away. Self-destruct out of Huwu is going to be how they attempt to do it. They do get Pudo. They are actually getting kills through, so they should be able to find their way back onto this, but I mean, Mega, to their credit, they got the point gap. This is looking to be a rocket barrage. No, CKM knows he can't quite go for it. Now commits it as Mega start re-aggressing onto the point. It was enough to trade 1-for-1 with Sage and God's mech. You up, kind of get the conversion on that one. This is a lot of percentage points out for Mega here, though, but it will eventually go the way of Blank. Oh!
Yeah, I don't know about this from Apudo. Unfortunately, a little bit too ambitious.
His watch is wrong.
Yeah, it's not noon.
It's time for justice.
I want to point out that Huwu's self-destruct there killing Apudo is a big deal. Now, Apudo was specifically looking for Huwu's baby diva. Couldn't quite find it. Dies his self-destruct because he had to get Riz. That timing window when he got Riz, 2 more kills came out of Blank, and then suddenly Mega were too far onto the back foot. But even when he got Riz, you see the pressure he puts onto CKM. It's pretty immense. And Mega, they got to do a better job of keeping Apudo alive, and he's got to do a better job of keeping himself alive.
Speaking of the back foot and resources, Trill going down. I was going to say Blank have a lot of resources they can just kind of...
Oh, wow!
And the catch on CKM. Man, doesn't matter how many defensive resources you have here. They even had committed the Valkyrie. This is as cheap as it gets for Mega. Just straight out fragging. What was Trill doing there when he got caught out? CKM getting headshotted as well. It just falls apart for Blank.
But this is the kind of thing, right, Blank? They want to get onto Apudo, so they're diving at him. They're throwing resources at him. Trill wants to go in, but he gets shut down so quickly. CKM, double headshot, the dink into another dink, and then the third one on to eat you up as well. Blank are feeling the pressure right now. This could go to a 99-99. I'm feeling it in my bones.
Your bones. I'm feeling it in my socks.
2 of them.
In my I'm feeling it in my foot bones past my 2 pairs of socks. And this is the fight out now. Oh, and he's down to Loco with the dive in. Trying to get the close out there on Huwu, but no such luck. Not that Huwu got anything for it, though. And good heavens, would you look at the time. Huwu in with the clutch defense matrix, though. And Trill just trying to run rampant on his back line. But Loco and Sage and God are doing the same on Blank's back line, which means Apudo has remained untouched. Blank are going to have to reset.
And once again, you see Trill just trying to get in there. CKM could not follow up for this dive to work. You need both Trill, CKM, and I'm going to add a third one in there, eat you up as well. You need 3 of them to go onto Apudo right now, because every time one of them has tried, that one person has been shut down and punished so effectively by Mega. Apudo has been such a big factor for Mega so far.
Oh man, this is a tight spot for Blank here. Really back up against the wall, about to lose their first place slot if they don't convert this. They get the cap though. Mega's not on it. And now the dive in from Blank. Instant conversion Trill. More like triple Trill, quadruple Trill. And who gets one for good measure? That's a...
Make it 5.
Yeah, it's 5. I don't know. I've got no pun for that. I'm sorry.
Pentatrill.
Oh, jeez. We are going to that 99-99, aren't we?
It is certainly happening right now. And Trill, well, he was well protected. Huwu, Matrix in there as well. Blank Esports, they made sure that he got the support he was required to have. And 5 kills, I mean, that's an incredible amount. Mega, gotta come in big.
Oh, the flashbang doesn't quite connect. The coalescence out of Kura. They throw in a self-destruct. Who we're looking for that money one as well. Does get Loco, and I think they've done it. That's just enough, especially with Apudo down, and then Eat You Up converts all the ultimates coming through. CKM gets one. He even gets a second one. Third one as well. The Genji finally paying off for himself. We did go the full distance, but Blank are not giving up that first place spot today.
Certainly not. In Mega, they came so close, but it just wasn't there. Right at the end as well, we saw Apudo for the 3rd time in a row going for that shot against the baby diva. Huwu's baby diva could not secure it. Gets caught out again. Let's take another look at this 5 kill from Trill.
This is absolutely nuts. Gets the support. It's got a bunch of squishies with the leap as well. And that's the last one. That's where he found Apudo. Man.
How greedy of Huwu to pick one up from
I mean, really. Kill steal.
but have given all 6 away.
And I mean, maybe that was like, maybe that was the last possible moment where Blank could have absolutely come alive. But man, they totally did. They absolutely delivered. You've got to imagine, what if that had been the Blank that was there the whole series long? And I don't mean to say they were playing poorly throughout the series or anything. They were playing perfectly fine. They got 2-0 up. They got it to match point. But Mega, in their own right, were able to address what was going on and come back out swinging, pulled us all the way to that final match, pulled us all the way to 1-1 on Oasis. And when you're kind of in that situation, it's just, you know, who's going to perform right here, right now, in this instant? Today, it was Trill and Blank.
And I don't think you could even be disappointed if you're Mega right now. You took
Certainly
2
not.
maps off of the #1 team in your group so far, now solidified as the #1 team in their group. And for a team like Mega, they didn't just take 2 maps off, they threatened to take the whole thing away.
Oh,
They
yeah.
threatened to take the 3 and 2. And the fact that they were that close, I think, should give them a huge confidence boost
yeah.
to say, look, Blank are maybe ahead, but only by like that much right now.
Yeah.
Mega are so far now just nipping on Blank's heels. It is just kind of neck and neck here. Any team, if they replayed this best of 5 it was, you know, you
Yeah.
could see it go the other way. It could
Absolutely.
easily go the other way.
And now we're in this situation where, I mean, unfortunate as it is to say, look, Blank still look good, don't get me wrong, and they should be coming through in that kind of first place spot. But like, again, yeah, what if these guys actually rematch? You know, you say like, you know, if they were to play that series again, well, they may do. They may end up playing each other in playoffs. How confident do Blank feel then? We talked about both of these teams being, for this first season of Contenders, teams that kind of see the way ahead of them clear to an extent. They see the opportunity to make playoffs where, especially in the case of Mega, they have failed to do so in previous Pacific region tournaments, unfortunately. Blank are a pretty consistent playoffs team. They're looking to just kind of return to that, but they're going to be going in now, I think, a lot more threatened than they had expected at the beginning of the series. And they've still got their match against Xavier to come up. They've still got the second of their hard matchups. You look at the arms race on the other side of it, Detonator Korea, anything better than a 3-2 for them tonight kind of has them, you know, at least going into playoffs feeling a little bit more confident in the first place from the other side of the bracket. So this really changes things.
And it's by the way, Mega, who still has Xavier left to play, not Blank. But either way, look, Blank still are looking for a clean finish to the regular season, right? They want all 5 wins against all 5 other teams in their group, securing that number. I think they have secured #1. Right now, they've won 4 out of their 5. They're not going to be pushed out from the #1 anymore.
I think so, yeah.
Mega just unfortunately have not. Mega are now #2, but they have not won enough despite taking on 2 maps from Blank. But the other side, what you say is really interesting because for Detonator Korea, looking in from the outside, you know, this is when Blank have been the most pushed that they've ever been. I think Blank have had some tough matches. They've had some close matches, but they didn't drop a single map. Now Blank dropped 2. They nearly lost the entire series. If you're Detonator looking at that, I think you can start to see some of the weaknesses in play, some of where you can exploit.
Yeah, however, now Detonator do have to accept that there is another new threat on the other side of the groups, and that is Mega.
It certainly is, but before we get to the other side just yet, it's going to be, well rather we are going to go to the other side of the group, but we're not going to see Detonator Korea just yet. It's going to be Marchi and Talent Esports coming at you right after this break.